The air crackled with tension, not the good kind, the kind that made the hair on the back of your neck stand on end. It was a Friday night, prime time for romance. But not for them, not tonight. Across the table sat a couple, their faces etched with frustration. They were supposed to be celebrating their anniversary, 2 years, a lifetime, or maybe just a blip. It was hard to tell in the dim, romantic lighting of the bistro. He was staring out the window, jaw clenched tight. She was picking at her food, her face a mask of barely suppressed fury. The silence between them was deafening, punctuated only by the clinking of silverware and the murmur of other diners. It was a classic setup for disaster. The argument began with a whisper, a hissed accusation lost in the gentle hum of the restaurant. Then, the volume rose, each word laced with venom. Accusations flew like daggers across the table. He slammed his fist down, rattling the silverware. A gasp rippled through the restaurant as nearby diners turned to stare. Her eyes welled with tears, her carefully applied makeup a blur of mascara.
"We're done," she cried, her voice cracking. She stood abruptly, knocking over her chair in her haste to escape.
It clattered to the floor, a jarring counterpoint to the soft music playing in the background. He watched her go, his face a mixture of anger and despair. The restaurant held its breath. She found herself at the bar, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs. The bartender, a kind-looking man with tired eyes, wordlessly placed a glass of water in front of her.
"Rough night?" he asked gently.
He listened patiently as she poured out her woes, his silence more comforting than any words could be. At the other end of the bar he sat nursing a scotch, his eyes fixed on the amber liquid swirling in his glass. A woman with a warm smile and eyes that crinkled at the corners slid onto the stool beside him.
"Mind if I join you?" she asked, her voice a soft melody in the cacophony of the restaurant.
He looked up startled, then nodded slowly.
"Sure," he muttered, surprised at the sudden urge to talk, to unburden himself. The night was young, and fate, it seemed, had other plans.
He spoke of broken dreams and shattered promises, his voice rough with emotion. She listened intently, offering words of comfort and understanding. As they talked, the weight on his chest seemed to lift, replaced by a flicker of hope. At the bar she laughed, a light tinkling sound that chased away the last of her tears. The bartender smiled, his eyes crinkling at the corners.
"Feeling better?" he asked.
She nodded, a genuine smile spreading across her face.
"Much better," she replied, her gaze lingering on the kind stranger who had offered her solace in the midst of heartbreak.
As the evening drew to a close, two couples emerged from the restaurant, their steps lighter, their smiles brighter. The remnants of heartbreak faded into the night, replaced by the promise of new beginnings. Love, it seemed, had a funny way of finding you, even in the most unexpected of places.